Hello, divine creations. Hello, infinite consciousnesses. Hello, children of God. Thanks so much for dropping by. A miracle happened. I got a respectful comment from someone who disagrees with me, and who even challenged some of what I had to say. And they did it in the most respectful way. And I'd say I've received 30, maybe 40 comments from people who disagree with me. And this is the first one that did it in just a completely respectful way. And to that person, I namaste. So here's the comment. And I've gotten to the point where I don't really like talking about specific teachers. Um, it's something I'm being with. But anyway, I'm just going to read this comment as is and respond. Mooji's pointings just from online have helped me tremendously. I've had a tremendous result and health improvements over 5 years. But I don't depend on him. I depend on God. It seems a lot of people in his satsang are really lost and have the wrong idea and spiritual pride and identity. God bless you and your channel. Thank you. And God bless Mooji. True that. Remember, to talk about Mooji is to talk about someone who has been directly taught by a legitimate line of sages. Not one of them would ever choose a successor. That's God's job. Religious rules suck. We all know that. Mooji has dedicated years to helping people. Monasteries are a good thing. All we can do is be nice to people we come across in life. It's not our job to bring justice to Mooji if he deserves it. But he deserves credit. His videos have helped so many. Your channel probably wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for him. He is the main popularizer of Advaita Vedanta, and the world is better for it. Thank you for helping spread the truth with your channel. Om Shanti. I wish I could reply directly to this person. I'm going to try. The way their comment came in, I'm not sure which video they're responding to, but I'm going to try. So first of all, thank you. So I'm going to start from the beginning. And he said, Mooji's pointings just from online have helped me tremendously. I've had miraculous results and health improvements over 5 years. So that's really helpful for me to hear. It's really helpful because I've criticized Mooji and I've criticized Neo-Advaita teachers, and he's a classic example of that. And it's important to have a balanced view. Is that it's not like it's all bad. So thank you so much for that. But I don't depend on him. I depend on God. It seems a lot of people in his satsang are really lost and have the wrong idea about spiritual pride and identity. That was my experience. I had a lot of interactions with lost is a good word to describe it. God bless you and your channel. Thank you. And God bless Mooji. Yes, thank you. Remember, to talk about Mooji is to talk about someone who has been directly taught by a legitimate line of sages. Absolutely false. Absolutely false. Mooji has no legitimate claim to be a spiritual teacher. In the Hindu tradition, to be a legitimate teacher, you have to have a guru who is legitimately recognized either by the tradition or legitimately a part of a lineage, give you permission to teach. Ramana Maharshi didn't have a guru in this lifetime, and and he was recognized by Hindu religious authorities as the real thing. However, Ramana Maharshi gave no one permission to teach. And anyone who makes a claim that, oh, I'm in Ramana Maharshi's lineage is lying. In just making that claim, they've taken themselves outside of the Hindu tradition, and they're just doing their own thing. Now, that's part of what I'm starting to realize is Neo-Advaita is okay. It just has really nothing to do with Hinduism other than borrowed language. Mooji's guru, Papaji, was never given permission by Ramana Maharshi to teach. And, Papaji declared 100 different people enlightened, many of whom straight up said, I'm not enlightened. they didn't say to his face, "You're crazy," but basically they said, like, I had a spiritual experience, but I'm not liberated being. And in fact, based on what I've read, Papaji himself never gave anyone permission to teach. He actually told people to go out. The people who say that he gave them permission to teach were told to go out and bring people back to Papaji. Um, so that is just factually false. And sorry, but I appreciate that that's your view, and it's a very common view, and it has nothing to do with Hinduism. It's you could, from a New Age point of view, it's like, yeah, um, Mooji woke up with Papaji, and Papaji woke up with Ramana. Like, okay, cool. That's not Hinduism. That's not Sanatana Dharma. That's its own thing. That's why scholars call it Neo-Advaita. Not one of them would ever choose a successor. Yes and no. Yes, they don't choose, gurus don't choose successors, although actually sometimes they do, to run a school, to run um, to run a monastery, and a guru looks at the disciple who has realized in the eye and sees that they have realized and gives them their blessing to teach. That's how it works in Hinduism. That's not how it works in the modern spiritual scene. So again, you're welcome to say he's taught directly by a legitimate line of sages. Now, isn't that interesting? This person says taught, not awakened. Yes. Well, from my view, Papaji was taught by a legitimate sage. And then I personally don't consider Papaji a liberated being or worthy of the title guru, but that's me. And actually, I don't think any Hindu, Orthodox Hindu would disagree with me. Respect to him for teaching, respect to him for being able to transmit Shaktipat, and his track record with declaring people enlightened, just that alone would disqualify him. But not one of them. That's God's job. No, that's not how it works in Hinduism. But again, I respect what you're trying to say. Here's the next thing he said: religious rules suck. We all know that. I'm going to make a whole video. This is ripe. So thank you. Religious rules suck, and they don't. Religious rules in the West, anyway, it's a deep topic. And what I can say is I hear you. And I used to feel the same way until I woke up to Neo-Advaita. And now I'm seeing that religious rules aren't so bad. Mooji has dedicated years to helping people. What he's dedicated years to doing what he's doing, and from you, I'm hearing that it's really helped you. So that's what I have to say about that. Monasteries are a good thing. I agree. And what Mooji's created is not a monastery. It's his own thing. Monasteries fall within a tradition, and monasteries tend to have, very strict rules of conduct. And if the accusations are right, in this case, the guru isn't following those rules of conduct. All we can do is be nice to people we come across in life. Well, we can also speak our mind. And part of this channel has been me learning how to speak my mind in a respectful way. And it's not our job to bring justice to Mooji if he deserves it. It's not my job. For our job, it's not my job. And it is, when laws are broken, ultimately it's God's job, and justice will be brought to everyone, including myself, who has done harm, at least by the law of karma, before liberation. Liberation frees us from the law of karma. And so I'm just going to let that fly. But he deserves credit. His videos have helped so many. I'm hearing that they've helped you. And, again, maybe my view is unbalanced. Maybe I'm only seeing the bad. So I'm going to sit with that. But this next thing will clear it up. Your channel probably wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for him. There's truth to that. I mean, it wouldn't exist now. It's this my upset with Neo-Advaita has been building for years, and my desire to really understand Advaita Vedanta, and Mooji was a catalyst for it. And so that's true. And hmm, yeah, that's what I'll say about that. He is the main popularizer of Advaita Vedanta, and the world is better for it. Two things. Main popularizer of Advaita Vedanta, world is better for it. Main popularizer of Advaita Vedanta, absolutely false. Mooji is not teaching Advaita Vedanta, not even close. He's teaching Neo-Advaita. Very different things. And if he has ever directly claimed to be teaching Advaita Vedanta, I've never heard him say that. I'm sure his devotees say it. And if he has ever said that, he's utterly delusional. And if anyone has a video of him saying that, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but absolutely false. There's hands down no religious scholar, no one who's read the Bhagavad Gita, no one who's well versed in actual Advaita Vedanta, no Hindu authority. Don't take my word for it. No Hindu authority who has any understanding of Advaita Vedanta would agree with that claim. So yes, it's subjective. Yes, there's no, like if you said to me, hey, that book weighs 3 pounds. And I'm like, no, it weighs 4 pounds. We've got a scale, right? We just put it on the scale and see. So right now we're talking about whether Mooji teaches Advaita Vedanta or not. There's no scale, right? So show me a legitimate teacher of Advaita Vedanta who says, yeah, Mooji's teaching Advaita Vedanta. And I'll show you a legitimate, Advaita Vedanta teacher, James Schwartz, for example, points out that what he's not, I don't remember James's exact words, but I've read on his website, that what Mooji is doing is not kosher. I don't want to, you can search James Schwartz's website, who is in a legitimate, he's in a legitimate lineage. The world is better for it. That's the question. Has Mooji done more harm than good? And it's not a question I can personally answer. All I can say is I've encountered many people who have experienced harm, and you're reporting that you've been helped. And all I can say is the facts, which are what he's doing is not Advaita Vedanta by not even close. Thank you for helping spread the truth with your channel. Om Shanti. So, this is the most respectful comment I have received by anyone who disagrees with me and who supports Mooji. And so I'm grateful for things like this. And me and this poster disagree on certain things. And who to believe? I would just say, look to the authorities and do a little research on what a lineage is in Hinduism, and guru disciple succession in Hinduism, and you'll very quickly see Papaji was not a legitimate guru, which of course then where does that leave Mooji? Thank you so much for your comment. I'm going to try, and the way this channel is set up, the way your comment came in, it's going to be hard for me to find, but I'm going to try and respond directly so you can see this video. And God bless this channel, and God bless Mooji. And I'm so glad to hear that he helped you. And you're not the only one. Actually, someone else posted that Mooji's teachings help them with entities, with removing spiritual. And there's no question Mooji has done some good. The question is how much. And um, if nothing else, Mooji is a conduit for spiritual energy in this world. He's a focal point for it. And if nothing else, we can say thank you to Mooji for helping bring in some of the. I don't claim to understand how energetics work, um, but he definitely channels some good juju, and God knows the world needs some good juju. Thank you so much. Take care. Much love.